Good morning, you sexy people. How you doing? I am on my way to do a couple of touristy stuff today, and then later on tonight I'm popping to a bar because John Beresford is there. The club's official stuff starts tomorrow, but tonight is more of an unofficial one. It's more of a for fans gathering than eat, so doing that later on. But today I'm taking you with me of what I'm getting up to, and we are going to talk about the whole club and situation with transfers, leadership, etc, etc. So let's get going. Because I manage the metro system, it's like London Underground. Swipe in, swipe out with your debit card. Happy days. Even Louis Vuitton has got a fancy shop. Look at this, man. It's unreal. By the way, we're going up that. That's one of the things we're doing today. The wheel is somewhere around here. I've just seen it before, but we're going on the wheel as well, the Ferris wheel. And if you spin round, look at that. All the businesses, HSBC, DBS, Standard Chartered, to name a few. Maybank, there's absolute tons. It's beautiful down here, like stunning. As many as I might disagree on this, I think the departure of Amanda Staveley has, because she was the mouthpiece, but she was more of like the mother nature and the carer of the club. And I feel like the communication with the club isn't as what it used to be. Now that can be easily fixed by just simple communications. Now I know there's been a lot of changes which I want to come on to, but Amanda would talk about the present, the future, the challenges. So we might not always like what you heard, what we heard from her, but it came from pure honesty. And I feel like the club aren't speaking to the fans as much as what they can do. Now, granted, on pre-season it's very different because they've got a lot of fan events. But I'm talking in the middle of winter, whatever. You know, where's the communication that the games have been moved or there's not any transfers in January, or to see where I'm going with this. The whole stadium as well, there hasn't been a great deal of communication. We would have thought by now we would have found out whether Newcastle are extending St James's Park or they're going to a new stadium. It's just the several of small factors, and them small factors don't mean a huge deal at that present moment, but if you put all them into one pot, it does. It adds up. So I feel the communication could be a lot better from the boardroom. Aye, they might have this, but we've got the Metro Centre. Not a patch on it. Look at that for a view. Oh, yes. As I say, we're going up that later. And we spin round the wheel. We're going on that next. We are here, everyone. The Singapore Flyer. Anyone scared of heights? You best click off now. And as we start to go up the wheel, just literally as I was making this video, the club have announced that they're changing stadium for the Lasses. So Kingston Park is no more, and the move to Gateshead International. Personally, I don't have a problem with it. I know that they need to play on grass football if they get promoted. But fans, once again, weren't even communicating or had their thoughts on it. Again, it comes down to communication. But I want to move on from that. Let me know how you feel about the whole communication with the club. I want to talk about transfers, because it's a big talking point at the moment. We'll hear from Alan Shearer in just a second, and Bruno Gomes are both talking about Alexander Isak. And this is what they said about the whole situation about Isak. Bruno went on to say about Isak, he's been through some rough things at the moment. My focus is with the lads. Alexander Isak is something I cannot control. The club has control of it. I hope he's going to be fit when we come back to Newcastle to prepare for the new season. They told us he was there in Newcastle because of his injury. Of course, he's a top player for us and he's going to be a miss on this trip. We need him ready as soon as possible. We are still in the market looking for new options, but we've had success before and we can have success again. I'm more focused on the players we have here. My job for the club is to try and keep the lads motivated. We have to be calm, we have to be patient. We know the directors are working on the market. We have Alanga, who has surprised me a lot in training, unbelievable. Since I signed for this club, I've always had this ambition. If we lose it, I'll go back to Brazil and play there. I think the club has the same ambition as me. So that's what Bruno said. Obviously Dan Burn has spoken to Sky Sports as well. But you talk about the whole situation with transfers. You look at
who we've missed out on. João Pedro, James Trafford, Liam Delap. You see where I'm going with this? I can start adding and adding. I can add 2 more. We've basically put a 5-a-side team together now. Why do we keep missing out? We have no sporting director. We've got a chief executive who's stepping down. Where's the replacement? But let's have a little listen to what Alan Shearer said about the whole situation with Isaac.
Use all his persuasive powers to do what he can, and try and make him stay for at least one more season. If that can't happen, then it is what it is. You have to then get the very best deal for the football club, and if someone's prepared to pay northwards of 150, I guess, then if he really wants to go, then you can't step in the player's way. He's been brilliant for Newcastle. He helped us achieve our dream and win the trophy last year, and if there's no way whatsoever that he can be persuaded to stay at Newcastle, then they've got to get the best deal for Newcastle, and if someone is prepared to pay that what they want, then you have to say thank you and off you go and build for the future, because there's no individual that's bigger than the football club.
How cool is this? Now, when I came out of Singapore, I did not expect to be stood here on a Formula 1 track. Wow, everyone, that was a lovely surprise. I love my F1, love my football, combining them both. Just class, absolute class. That was a real treat to go on that for free. That was brilliant. I absolutely love that. That's made me day. I am feeling the heat a little bit. Could do with something to eat. And it is hot. I have had a drink, but we're going to go at the top of this bad boy. So let's make our way over there. We'll go to the top and then we're going to grab something to eat. Right, so we're back from there. We're going to get on the top of the building, as I say. But, you know, I'm just trying to engage with you to see how you're all feeling back here. Because I felt the sense by the YouTube comments and the replies on social media that everyone's a bit negative by it. And I get it, I do get it. But I'm also trying to bring some of this fun to the video as well by showing you what I'm up to as well whilst talking about the football. So if you're all liking this stuff, come on, help us out. A like goes a long way because it's a one-man show doing all this in 4K as well. So I'm never going to use public Wi-Fi to do these vids. Right, everyone, we are on the top of the sky deck. Do you want to see the view? There we go. Give me New York vibes, that. And then look to the right. Obviously the Ferris Wheel is out that way where we've just been on. See what this feels like? I feel like a bit like the Titanic. I feel like I need to play the music, but I can't have the copyright. But it is wobbly a little bit. Like, there's the wheel down there if you can see it, and there's the stadium behind it where Newcastle are playing on Sunday. So this is just a more of a higher up view, to be honest with you. If we just spin round, there's a lot of people taking photos and stuff, selfie sticks and that. People are getting a drink up there, and that's the observation deck up there. Right, so I want to talk about leaks. And you might think that leaks aren't always a bad thing, but it's not always a good thing either. And we've got some fantastic journalists who cover Newcastle United, but there always seems to be the same ones that are in the loop. And we're talking David Ornstein, who's not even a Newcastle journalist. He's getting the information to put it out there. Keith Downey, Sky, and Craig Hope. I would say those are the three that seem to know a lot of what's going on with Newcastle in terms of transfers, whether they're getting feeding information off agents or clubs, or the Newcastle United themselves, or players. Sometimes it's not always a good thing that it gets leaked because it can stir up negativity amongst the fan base. But, you know, it's their job as a journalist to find out the truth and report the truth. Whether they believe it's right or wrong, it's their way of reporting it. And do you know what? In all honesty, as much as what you think about journalists, some people might think they're a bad thing. Without those leaks and stuff, do you think we'll have even more lack of communication? That word again. Because I do. If we didn't find out that Newcastle were linked to Johan Visser, or if the leaks of Alexander Isak, because the club have said that he's injured, if these leaks aren't out there, we'll be none the wiser. So you've also got to credit them and thank them. And not everyone, because a lot of people are just in it for the clicks and stuff. You know this already. I don't have to tell you that. But I would probably say those three journals are the ones you want to trust going forward in terms of transfers. So yes, I'm bigging you up, but the leaks that are happening over and over again, who's inside the clubs that's doing that? Because it's not the first time. It's not. But for me, without those leaks, we wouldn't know none the wiser. Ooh, it's a lot more breezy out this way. I think we should get doing there. Kind of them gardens next. Definitely. And he has a higher up version. Beautiful day. We are expecting thunderstorms later, like. Right, the next thing I want to talk about was price of things. Now, I know this happens with all the clubs, but again, it links in with the communication. Like, if you don't go to a certain amount of games this season with your season ticket, you lose your season ticket. I think it's 5. But also the price of stuff. You look at the price of tickets now, the Champions League has gone up. The season ticket's gone up for, what's it, 2 years, 3 years in a row now? Where's the communication telling us that and the reason behind it? Why isn't there someone on video explaining the reasons why? Instead of just doing it, please elaborate a little bit more. The price of a shirt has gone up. You've also got to think of just even me getting out here. This has cost me an arm and a leg, but I'm here to enjoy it. I'm in a fortunate position where I can, but others can't. What if you've got a family of 4? I know one person in particular has had to give up their season ticket because the price gone up for him, his partner and the 2 kids. You've got to remember that Newcastle isn't like London. We don't have the high wages. We've got a lower income. You've got to look after your own. Instead of having, and I get why the club want to get money in with the hospitality and stuff like that, to bring in your tourist fans, I get that, I do. But you've also got to remember, look at your core, look at your bread and butter, look at your heartbeat of the club. It's the fan that's inside the ground, not the fan that's sat there watching on the TV. You can bring in your tourists all day long, but you'll lose the atmosphere. And that goes, again, it ties in with the stadium. The communication with our expanding, our moving stadium has gone quiet as well. Again, it all links in with the communication, all these little factors. I just think it's just, despite obviously pre-season and it's a good feel factor, don't get me wrong, in pre-season. I'm trying to think if I was back home and looking at the club in general. Despite winning the League Cup, which we're all on a massive high, and qualifying for the Champions League, I think last season in particular, off the pitch, has been woeful. It's been absolute woeful. And I thought I'd never say that since the takeover. Don't get me wrong, you can never ever compare that to Mike Ashley because you can't. Because that's on another level. But the standards have fell since, for me, Amanda Staveley left the club. Look at this. Them alien-shaped things. Now, what they're for? But I think we should get down there. Can I get any food? I think I'll get in here for some fries, yeah, like. Because I need some food. Feed the bear. Right, got me chips. Got a sundae. Look at the size of that Coke. I mean, it's lemonade, sorry, but the size of it's huge, like America. Massive. Look at them. Massive them, aren't they? Very impressive. I don't know what the purpose of them is. Maybe they light up. Maybe people from Singapore who are watching this can tell us what these are. Very alien shaped, aren't they? Impressive though. Right, everyone, last one is PSR. Another club can't do much about it, and that's come from the league in restrictions as soon as we had the takeover, which is annoying. So no blame at the club for this. But obviously I know they're trying to grow the commercial side because Ashley just let it rot for years and years. In places like this, Singapore, trips to Australia that we've had, Japan last year, America before that, and so on. Saudi we've done. So trips are trying to bring in extra revenue, obviously the stack. And I get why, as I said before, some of the prices of shirts and that go up. But it all comes down for me back to, again, it's communication. It all seems to go back to the first point that I made right at the start of the video. But we are a little bit down. Yes, we don't know what's going to happen with Isaac. We need some signings coming through the door pretty quick. And we'll just have to wait and see. We're on a bit of a poof, but I have every confidence that things will improve. And I have every confidence in Eddie Howe, but he does need to be backed. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video of different places around here. I'm absolutely knackered. I'm not going to lie to you. We will start to do all the fan events coming up in the next 24 hours or so. But today was more being about Dora the Explorer. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video, everyone. And drop us a massive like on this. That would be absolutely wonderful. comments down there below. We want to know your feedback on the whole situation of how the club is being run at the moment. Obviously, Alan Shearer said earlier that he wasn't best pleased with the whole situation with Isaac either. But yeah, love yous and leave yous. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Ta-da.